Good morning and welcome to the Angel and Tina morning show. Super excited to have you joining us today. Tina, good to see you again.
Right? I feel like we haven't seen each other in like weeks and weeks, but it was just last week. We took a 5-day weekend. Angel, it was so funny because Angel this morning gets out. She's like, I haven't been in my office for 2 weeks. I'm like, what? You just was there last week. But actually, she wasn't, because last week she was on location in Vegas, where actually April, our guest today, is now living.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show.
Hi, April.
Hi. Thanks for having me, Angel and Tina. And it's going to be a blistering 105, I think, today.
Ooh,
Angel, was it that hot last week?
No,
yes. I was there last week. I don't think it was.
No, not last week. It wasn't. No.
But it was toasty. It was definitely toasty. And, you know, I lived in Denver for like 35 years and we just moved to Orlando. And so Denver's super dry. Orlando's got more humidity. And I will tell you, when we came back to Orlando, I was like, oh, humid, like my skin.
Angel, let me see your arms. Look at that darkness.
Yeah. Look at me. I am like so tan. You should see my legs. They are like,
oh my gosh,
super dark. Look.
Okay, so well, thank goodness you didn't show us your bottom.
Bottom is not dark.
Look at my bottom.
Well, at least she doesn't have burn marks or anything. That'd be like a roasted. Right? Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm pretty tan.
Funny thing is, April, last year when everybody was in quarantine, Angel and I are both like beach girls.
Yeah.
She did get burned.
Oh.
I did. Because I had not been in the sun. I had not been in the sun for a full year. We hadn't gone on vacation.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Outside. And so this March we went to Mexico. I got so burnt. And so burnt after 1 hour. I had baby skin, wasn't used to the sun. But now I own a pool. I've never owned a pool before.
Oh.
I'm super excited.
She has a pool boy / husband.
There you go. Yeah.
My husband is our pool boy, and we're having fun, right? We're having fun, but
I was actually talking about that time you were in Colorado and you were on outside sitting on the driveway. Remember, your top of your legs were all blistered.
I forgot about that. I was sitting on my driveway having a phone. I was just talking to my mom, sitting in like little camping chairs, those little.
Yeah, right.
And yeah, the tops of my legs got burned from sitting out there. But no, they're not burned. I'm not burned.
Oh, good.
I do have a big giant bug bite though. Like mosquito bite, bug bite.
Mosquitoes love me.
You must smell sweet. You must smell.
I must be so sweet that they love me because I go outside and I'm like attacked.
Right.
Huge. Right. It is huge. So, but yeah, so I was in Vegas last week. I have not been in my office for almost two straight weeks. And it feels really like I was on vacation. I was doing the digital nomad lifestyle, right?
Right. Good.
I told her, I said, hey, remember, because she was in Vegas. I said, so remember, Monday we have no show. And then Tuesday we had something was going on Tuesday. We didn't have a show Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, I'll see you next Wednesday. She goes, what are we gonna do for a week?
Yeah, exactly.
Like all this free time.
I know.
I mean, look at that. I've got my life back a little bit, and it feels very luxurious, right? As entrepreneurs, we're like work, and then I'm like, oh, we've got like 3 hours.
I know, yeah. When you're away from the computer, I completely understand.
It's been fabulous. Well, Jeff, we want to say welcome to you, my darling. Where are you joining us from?
Oh, I'm in Salem, Massachusetts, and heart of New England here, and spooky Salem. It's always fun.
Ooh, do you live there?
Oh yeah, I live in Salem, and
right, you could be traveling. You could be.
I could be traveling. I went down to Plymouth over the weekend and came back up.
Salem.
Yes, this is where the witches were.
Really? interesting.
So also to history and like monuments and
Oh, there's a lot of history here for that, and lots of monuments for the victims of the witch trials, downtown Salem, plus a lot of fun things to go along with it. A lot of haunted houses and witch tours and nighttime activities.
Ooh, that sounds like a lot like Savannah. So I lived in Savannah for 17 years, and everybody would come to Savannah and be like, "Oh, we're gonna go there. Let's go on a ghost tour." I'm like, "What do you mean a ghost tour?" And then I started knowing, like, when you live in the city, you don't really do all these touristy things. And
Yep.
I was like, oh, and I started learning about Savannah and how like haunted Savannah is. And it is very haunted, like from pirates, like back in the day. There's like this restaurant called the Pirate's House, and there's like a cave that goes, like a little thing that goes underneath the water from the river that the pirates used to
Tunnel.
Yeah, smuggle stuff.
Right? Like go there,
Yeah.
take the things and haul the beer underneath there. And I was like, what?
the rum, the rum. They would haul the rum.
Oh, it wasn't rum. I didn't even know. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
Because and it's so cool. But the Pirate's House was a restaurant, and there was a guy there that dressed just like Johnny Depp did on Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh yeah.
And oh my gosh, I swear it was him. I looked at him. I said, "Are you like?" He did the whole thing. He had the rings. I like it was so good. So it's amazing when you live in a city like that people are like, "Oh, let's do all the haunted stuff." And so
They're
Jeff,
very into it.
Yeah. Do you take your friends and family on all these haunted?
I have done it in the past. When they do come in, we haven't had anybody for a while, but we do have the occasional person comes in. We take them downtown. We've taken friends on a tour, walked downtown with them, and take them into the various haunted houses. Always a lot of fun.
Well, I just moved to Orlando, and it seems like people are always visiting Orlando. So I'm having to learn how to be like a good hostess,
right?
And a good, like tour guide of the city, because they're like, "Okay, Angel, where should we go?" I'm like, "Well, I don't know. I just moved here."
You need to have a guest room. So your pink flamingo room needs to be your guest room with like all the touristy like little brochures. You know how
there you go. Yeah.
All the brochures.
All the rack cards with all the
yeah. Just make a little
and grab all the little rack cards and put them in the room.
I did decide to go with the flamingos in the room as my theme, my decor. It's very subtle. It's not like bam, but I do have.
It's not like Pepto-Bismol pink.
No, but I did get these fabulous like bamboo sheets that are so soft. Oh my gosh.
I can't wait to go in August.
They are like butter, like yum. Okay. So did you guys work this weekend? Did you take time off? Like how did the 3-day weekend go? Because sometimes as entrepreneurs, we forget, like, oh, it's a holiday. Because we went to the beach this weekend, and holy moly, like everybody and their mother was out.
Was it crowded?
It was.
Yeah, because I purposely, I try to avoid the holiday weekends. We did have one person come into town, so we went to his show off the strip. But yeah, as a rule, I try to avoid the busy places.
But do you find you forget? Because as an entrepreneur, like,
oh, totally.
Like holidays aren't as big of a deal when you work for yourself, right? Like when you have, like, you finally get a 3-day weekend.
Right.
That's what my son said. He's like, "Mom, I have a 4-day weekend." I was like, "For what?" And he was like,
"Oh, I know. Yesterday, Monday, I was calling Cindy. I think we sometimes have a Monday morning set, like, strategy session at some crazy hour. She likes to start 7 a.m. And I'm like texting her. I'm like, "All right, I'm ready. I got my notes." And she's like, "What? I'm sleeping in." I'm like, "It's Monday."
It's like also Memorial Day.
Right.
Angel, I think last year we even did a show on Memorial Day because we forgot.
Oh,
it was Memorial Day.
Our guests forgot. They're like booking it, and we're like,
and they're like, "Oh."
And so then we realized after that, we're like, we could probably I could probably take these holiday days off.
Yeah, exactly. You should.
Like, so I think I think the next holiday was like July 4th. She's like, mark it off. So then that way nobody books.
Because people will. Do you have like the automation on your calendar? Like if you don't put the holiday in, I've had people book on the holiday. And again, I think just because we're entrepreneurs, we're just kind of doing our thing and we're like,
Okay.
oh yeah,
it's another day.
But I actually had I had a friend in town. We took 4 days and just played. And I'll tell you what, I just haven't played hooky like that.
Oh, good.
Angel, I loved watching because Angel's like all business. I mean, I know her as this fun person, you know, like too, but to everybody else, she's like strictly business. And like she posted this little video of them like playing in the pool, like kicking it. It was so like laughing because I'm like, oh, finally, like because she worked so hard. She works like 16 hours a day. And
right. Yeah.
Okay, you need some
downtime. So what did you do, Jeff? Did you go exploring, you and Lisa, or?
We went down to Plymouth, and we have my ancestry comes from down that way and out Martha's Vineyard and stuff, and Nantucket, and so there's a lot of history there. But we also have a lot of family. I have on my side family buried down there, so I go down Memorial Day and kind of take care of the plots and stuff, clean things up, and visit with family, have a few chats, things like that. They don't answer back.
Right.
They might in Savannah. Right. Yep. All right. Well, Jeff, give us a little background. Give us a little history about, you know, who you are and what makes you such a rock star.
Well, I started about 20 years ago, retired from the Air Force, and I was exploring the New England area. My first time really up by myself. And I fell into Yankee Magazine's orbit, and they became noticed of me. And they would ask me questions about what I'm finding and things like that. And over a couple of year period, all of a sudden they said, well, why don't you become one of our bloggers, our first ever blogger? And I'm like, what's a blog? Oh, okay. And, you know, my photography was pretty decent and they enjoyed it. I've been featured in the magazine a few times. Over the years, I've gone on my own as Foliage, which is where my name came from, was from Yankee Magazine. And I travel all over New England, all from September through early November, telling people around the world where they can find the fall colors. Yeah, I had a couple of years ago, I had CBS Sunday Morning pick me up, and they traveled with me for a couple days, and I call that the rock star moment, because I'm like, wow, national TV. Right? That was something else.
Yeah.
But in general, it's a lot lower key.
Those beautiful colors and all the oranges and the yellows. Oh, how pretty.
Oh, it is gorgeous. And rarely do we have a bad year, once in a while, but general people want to know where to go, when can I maximize my effort and get out and really enjoy things. And that's what I help to tell them to do. I fell in with April there a couple of years ago, and you know, we hit ideas off of each other. She would ask me questions, and you know, where am I finding it this weekend? And you know, she's taking tours around, and me, I'm telling everybody on my blog, jeffoliage.com, where to go, where to find these things each week.
I think I found you on Facebook. Are you this New England Fall Foliage?
New England Fall Foliage, yeah. I have a group and a page. The page is more my stuff. And then last year I created a group, and that is for everybody to share what they're finding with everybody else. And it's for first year, got about 1,900 members of the group. I'm hoping to grow it this year. I think it will. And it's already, the travel industry is going bonkers here. Oh, yeah. Everybody is going to be going out this year doing something, either this summer or this fall.
I was reading about some business trends, especially for when it comes into the travel industry, because people are hungry. They're just hungry to get out and get away. Mm-hmm. And you got these beautiful pictures of these pumpkins. It's so weird to see. Like it's June. It's June, right?
You got to start planning early, though. This year, especially, you just got to. Jeff and I have been talking about that. I know him and his wife have already booked everything. I've got clients. I've told them that's the first thing I do is help them. Let's get your nights, your weekends, especially. If you want to go out there and be, if you want to visit Salem, if you want to visit a specific spot and be in that town so you can walk around at night, you're going to need to book a room now.
Yeah. And even sense. Salem is probably out of luck.
Yeah, it may be at this point since we're past Memorial Day now.
Oh, I'm sure. We just moved to Orlando and Walt Disney is celebrating their 50th anniversary in October.
Oh, wow.
Like you can't get a reservation. It's people are planning. They're already planning big. So so if they want to get into see the fall colors, this is beautiful. Like your photography is
thank you.
You're okay with the camera. You're
okay. I have some skills. Yeah.
Angel, you turn to the side like that, your whole side of your face disappeared.
Oh, it did? It disappeared? Oh no, I'm a ghost.
Yeah.
That's because I'm so white. It's like
no, Angel.
Yeah.
Okay, so then my green screen.
She has her green screen.
Oh, she's got her green screen.
Which is so well. Actually, here's something interesting is because I was doing an event and I don't know, we didn't have a green screen or something. Look, this is my actual background. It's not even look how fuzzy my hair looks.
Wait, that's your green screen or that's your actual background?
That's my background, but it's not even green. So I think that's why I disappear. Because I don't have the green screen. I had to pull it away. Oh, because I was doing an event on, is it Hopin?
Yes.
No virtual background with Hopin. And so I had my green screen and you can kind of see if I pull this,
you can see the green on the very top there.
Yeah, I just pulled it back like drapes. Right? So it's actually these dollar store like green tablecloths.
Oh.
And that are behind me and they're just hooked on to my banner. And so I was doing this event on Hopin and no virtual backdrop. And so I've got this green color behind me. So I just pulled it back like curtains and I have my conference show banner behind me. But when I turned on the computer this morning, it put my virtual background, that's my family room. So
there you go.
Right? I'm liking yours, Jeff. Yours is really.
I know he's got amazing photos.
All right. So April, give us a little bit of your background, your story.
Sure. Well, I fell in love with New England many years ago. I grew up in the Midwest and we had definite change of seasons. We would always take fall drives along the Mississippi River. I lived in Madison, Wisconsin for a few years. And even though I was working retail, any hour I got off in the fall, I'd be like hitting the pavement and, driving to some state parks just to see the fall colors.
So what is the fall season in New England? Is it extended? Is it like, when does it kind of start and how long?
It varies so much. There's so much science that goes into it. And Jeff Folger is hooked into like the Forest Service and the Weather Service, and there's all these things, but it ultimately just comes down to the magic of Mother Nature. So you can start seeing color sometimes. Last year was odd. It was just an odd year. It started like kind of early and people, Jeff is posting pictures and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to be there now. And, so sometimes it can start mid-September, really early, just the little tinges of color. And then generally Columbus Day weekend historically is the big hit, that weekend and that week is historically your best bet to see the most variety of colors in the biggest band of states in New England, since I consider kind of like Jeff, New England, the prime spots, Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont that people think of, but there's plenty of beautiful color when you just dip down to Massachusetts, Connecticut, those states as well. Boston, your cities tend to turn later, along waters and lakes can stay later into last year I actually drug my husband out there kind of stealth-like into some places. We had to pick up our food and, just be on the road by ourselves. But we were there the very last week of October until like the first couple of days of November. And there were spots where you'd stop and there'd be an amazing red tree covered in beautiful leaves. So it really, beginning of, and if you are in other parts of the United States, upper peninsula of Michigan, you get colors. Montana, you get color, but you don't get the.
How did you pick Vegas if you're such a fall foliage lover?
Fall foliage in Vegas.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Well, actually, my husband is a musician. He was born and raised in Los Angeles. So, being a performing musician and growing up in Los Angeles, that was his big thing. I always liked the beach. So that's why I left Iowa years ago and ended up in LA. But just California has really changed. So we decided if anything was going to come back entertainment wise for him, Vegas would be a great spot. And McCarran Airport now is literally 15 minutes away, which is something I love because then I can just blast out of here, to anywhere. Whereas in Los Angeles is so spread out, it would take me a good hour to maybe an hour and a half some days just on traffic. One accident, I'm having to plan to be at the airport like hours ahead of my flight.
We're kind of the same thing. When we were in Denver, we were an hour away from the airport, and here we're 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm from San Diego, April, and I completely know that traffic, like, you're like,
oh,
what time does my flight leave? Oh man, I'm going to be in traffic.
Right. Exactly. So now I'm out here, but what I love to do is take people. I started taking photographers many years ago. I was really active in my local art association and photography groups. And I was winning in California because they're not as used to seeing those scenics. I was winning awards and this and that. So then other photographers are like, ooh, where did you get that shot? So I started small. I was working full time, but I planned my vacations always in the fall. And now hopefully I've moved it to where, I can do this pretty much full time. So we'll see.
Well, this is like the connection, right? And I'm looking at some of these pictures and I'm watching Jeff change his.
Yeah, I know, right?
This little slideshow back.
Yeah, it's a little cooler back here now. Yes. Yeah.
And
how pretty is that?
Yeah, that one's gorgeous.
I love fall. My son was born in the fall. It's his favorite season. And when the kids were little, we were on a year-round school track. So they would go to school for 9 weeks and be off for 3. School for 9 weeks, be off for 3. And they would just rotate the kids throughout the year because it was so crowded. And we would always have this 3-week fall break in October. Wow. And we would often go up to like Yellowstone or Montana because it was close, and it is so pretty to just get away. But I've never been to New England.
Oh, you're kidding. Oh my gosh, you have to go. Oh my gosh. To me, it's just addictive. The colors, the scenics, it's like walking into, I've taken people from LA and, we drive through a little town and there's just the post office, a country store.
Oh yeah, somebody from LA, they'll be like, what the heck?
Yeah, they're like, wait, they've got their map in the back seat or their GPS and they're like, wait, but that was the town? And I'm like, yeah, that was the town. That was it. Or,
a time machine? Did we go back in?
Yeah, exactly. And I'll never forget the time I pulled up to, I love the country stores. I highly recommend going to every country store you can because they're all different. They have amazing local products. You can also get a hot coffee or a sandwich or use the bathroom and talk to the people. That's where the locals are. But I remember pulling up to a country store, parked the car. I'm so used to locking everything. I locked it. I walk into the country store and out of nowhere, someone goes, "You're not from these parts." And I was like startled. And I looked around and this little woman pops up from behind the wooden counter and she's staring at me. And I'm looking down at myself like, am I wearing something crazy? Do I have the wrong cap on? And she goes, we don't lock our cars. That was like the dead giveaway to her that I wasn't from those parts. And I've never forgotten that story.
You had
and
keys in your hand. They were like, what are those?
Yeah. No, and two guys walked past me with like a 6-pack. It must have been a Friday. And she's like, oh yeah, Joe, I'll put that on your tab. And I'm like, what? They're not paying right now. It just blew my mind, It's like,
right, like who has tabs anymore?
Yeah, exactly. She's never gonna, but nope. She was like, sure, you got that. I was like, wow.
Yeah, you couldn't do that here.
No.
Or LA. Gosh, everybody would be in bankruptcy.
No, in Vegas, you can't even order a drink without like you prepay, right? Like, when you place the order, she's like, okay, and how are you, what's your form of payment?
Yeah, give me your card now.
Before, she doesn't bring it to you and wait. Like you do it. Yeah, very, very different cultures. Very different times. Okay, so for somebody who's never been, right, where do you recommend we start?
Oh my gosh.
Well, you can start up north. Yep, start up north. The earlier you show up, the further north you want to be. Okay, the colors start up in Canada. They flow down through the month of September into early October. I'm thinking this year, about the 1st of October, you're going to be in the northern areas of Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine. As it gets a little later into October, the colors are going to continue flowing down. As April said, the Columbus Day weekend, that's the big weekend. It's the 3-day weekend. I think that's one clue to it. But the other part is that's where the biggest area of color can be found. It's not always perfect. It's, you still can go from one town. You can go from Jackson, New Hampshire, about 12 miles from Conway, and it's beautiful up in Jackson. But it's like, well, where I left the color, where did it go? It's not in Conway yet, and it's only 12 miles away. And then you go someplace else to the east or the west of Conway, and you've got the color back again. And it's hit or miss, but it's always an adventure. It's someone asked me, why I do it.
What is that almanac thing? Like the farmers?
The Farmer's Almanac. Yeah, from Yankee Magazine.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jeff, what is this behind you? Where is this at?
This is a Sudbury Grist Mill, Wayside Inn in Sudbury, Massachusetts. This would be a mid-October, around the 17th of October time period. And
is that a waterfall?
It has a little bit of the water comes over. It used to come over and it will hit the water wheel. They actually still turn the water wheel. They, on occasion, they'll use it to, create, grind flour, and they make flour for the Wayside Inn and the restaurant there.
That is a fabulous place to stay, by the way. And try to get one of the rooms, the old rooms with the old beams in the ceiling. And people have stuck little pieces of paper in the beams, little notes, and for years and years and centuries. And it's so super amazing. And right there but it's like the little area, the Wayside Inn property is like, little few miles away. It's just, traffic, congestion. And then there's this little oasis with the grist mill. There's a church, an old steepled church. It's a fabulous property. You could spend a couple days there.
So April, when are you going?
I'm starting October 1st and be out. Hopefully, I'm hoping to be out there the entire month, just because, again, to chase the color, follow the color as it changes. There's so many places within a short distance, as Jeff just mentioned, that the distance there's so many changes. One little town 10 miles away from the other town has a different layout. They have a center green with, white steepled buildings. The next town over may have a red covered bridge and an interesting brick, stone grist mill like Jeff has behind him. So I'm hoping to spend all 4 weeks. I've got a couple groups going. I have some spots left, so hoping to take others who've never experienced it.
Is there how they call it, like storm chasers, people who chase like
tornado watchers.
Yeah.
Like color chasers or
leaf peepers.
Leaf peepers. And Jeff totally gets to be one of them since he lives out there. He's up at dark 30 to hit the road and plan where to go. So
how early do you get up, Jeff?
Well, I'm getting a bit older, so it's not quite as early as I like anymore. But a lot of times, I would be on the road by about 4 in the morning, especially if
You
I've only got
you can't
one
see
day,
color at four
if
in the
I've only
morning.
got one. No. Well, actually, you'll find yourself as you come to an interchange on the highway where it's bright lights and everything. And I'm looking at the trees at that point. And it looks funny because the colors aren't good, but it's like, oh, I can see a little bit of color there. It gets my blood starts going, ooh, I can start feeling it. And but then it's back into the dark again. And I'm like, I'm waiting for the sun, as it gets towards 6 o'clock, the sun's just brightening the horizon. And you can all of a sudden you realize I can see a little color on the highway. And it's like, oh, I saw a red go by. I saw a yellow. Look at that over there. And it's like the anticipation is just like Christmas morning for me. I
it is
feel like
for
I'm
me,
opening my
yeah.
Christmas presents.
How fun. Okay, so April, you said you're doing some tours. You've got some spots left. Tell us about your tours.
So my tours are small groups. I usually take between 6 and 8 only because I like to keep it small, like to travel in one
That's
vehicle.
small.
Some of the best places to stay, honestly, are going to be just off an old country road. So there is not a lot of room for tons of cars. Those are sometimes the best, the hidden gem that you just come across. Other places, unfortunately, and that's the hard part with the internet, is we like to share our photos now. So everyone starts to know where these fabulous scenics are. But part of the tour is staying in these historic bed and breakfasts and eating out there local farm to table. That's just a way of life. And it's been that way forever. There's properties where the chickens are, that's their eggs they're going to serve you for breakfast. The maple trees on the driveway, they're doing maple syrup. So that's just part of the experience for me and for my guests, is taking them to those experiences. It's more than just the colors. It's stepping back in time. It's slowing down because many of them are living lives in busy places like Dallas, Texas, Los Angeles. I've occasionally gotten guests that have joined me from Australia, these places where they don't realize these places exist. So we get up early for those that want to join me, do a sunrise photography session, and then we meet the others who didn't want to go out that early. We meet for breakfast, have a great breakfast.
That would be Angel.
Yeah. And then we hit the road and, sometimes
sunset.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes we stop at different historic spots where Robert Frost wrote his poetry. Norman Rockwell painted residents of the local town. You've got, the early American history is out there. So many artists and authors have spent time. So many movies on Golden Pond has been set out there. People think Bridges of Madison County, they think of New Hampshire, but it was actually set in my home state of Iowa. But that's where all the covered bridges still are. The real ones are in New England. And then, the light stops about 6 o'clock. So 6 o'clock, we're rolling into a nice restaurant, and you're not going to see any trees after dark. So, you get cozy, maybe hit a local restaurant that has local beers. Some people like that. Local foods, like I said, farm raised.
Gotcha. Do they do like the ciders like back there?
Yeah, they're doing hard ciders. They're doing, the pumpkin stuff. I love the cider donuts. I know Jeff loves the cider donuts.
A little too much.
Yeah.
I've had a cider donut, but I love PSLs. Like right September 1st, I'm one of the first people at Starbucks.
Yeah, exactly.
My pumpkin spice latte.
And then I'm also helping them take photos, even if they've got an iPhone. I mean, the cell phones now have gotten so crazy good. It's just getting these great images is just about being in the right spot at honestly the right time and using your eyes. So it's training people's eyes to look for the composition, to know where to place the red barn, know how you want to use the lines of a road to draw you into a picture. I mean, I had a woman who took an entire trip with her iPhone, got amazing pictures, made a photo book, got home with some, one customer always called them wall hangers, which I love that term, wall hangers. He wanted another wall hanger. Give me another wall hanger. So he, with the iPhones and the advanced phones, you don't have to have a big, heavy camera like Jeff and I have been toting around. You don't have to go to all that, weightlifting to carry the thing around, and you don't have to set up an Ansel Adams style camera to get these amazing images.
I took a walking tour in Denver. It was an iPhone camera class, and they took us, like, walking around, how to use our phone, how to take the pictures. Yeah, all the things that you're talking about. And yeah, we all just did it with our cameras. It was a great little class, and we got to go and see some really, I don't know, beautiful places.
Funny you guys are talking about that, because on TikTok there's like this whole thing right now of things to do with your iPhone, and how to like flip your phone around instead of using it upright, flip it around to use this one setting and get this one pose, you know, on the beach and in places like this. And I'm like, oh, I need to learn all these little tricks.
Yeah. So I love that you teach that, April, because yeah, a lot of times, yeah, these things are pretty powerful.
They're really powerful. And a lot of people are hesitant. They think, they see the photos that Jeff has, they see some photos that I may have, and they get intimidated. It's like, no, I just want to encourage that creativity. I want to encourage that love of exploration, of getting in your car and using an old-fashioned map and figuring out how to go see something amazing. And then just the joy of capturing that on your own device, that you can do it. You can go home and have a picture that's worthy of your wall. Or
I don't know if I can use an old-fashioned map nowadays. I mean,
you want to pinch and move. And right? Oh, so Jeff, I know. Do you have your fall tour already set up? Like,
actually, we do. Yeah, Lisa, as April mentioned earlier, what was shocking for Lisa was that, in April I gave her the dates that we were going to go, usually Sunday through Tuesday each week in October, and she had 20 places that she had bookmarked. Of those 20 places, a month later, 13 were booked up solid, nothing. She couldn't book anything. So she all of a sudden had to back up and go and pick new places. And she didn't wait this time. She booked everything, all the way through. So yeah, we're, early, we're going up to Rangeley. We're going to be over in, Vermont a week later, and then middle of October, we're going to be around the 17th, be out in Acadia, National Park. So I'm going back and forth. They're going to be Western Mass a week later than that. So it's all over the place. I try to hit all these different locations, and just to give myself some creative inspiration to hit new places that I haven't hit before. I've never done Acadia in the fall. I've done it in the spring. I've done it in the spring, and that's it. I've never been there the rest of the year, because it's a 4-hour trip for me, so I got to make it really good if I'm going to go up there and drive home. But it is so much fun trying to, follow my own advice. Okay, where should I go to put myself in a central location, to give myself the best chance of getting, good photos and just a good opportunity to find the fall colors. Because a lot of times, the people will go and they'll say, well, I'm showing up in September, but I want to do Connecticut. Well, it's not going to work real well because the colors just aren't down there yet. Right. Or they're showing up in the middle of October, but they want to do Franconia, they want to do Stowe, and it's like, well, they're making snow at that time. You might not work too good. Things like that. So it's really interesting. But yes, I have picked out all my places, and we're booked solid all the way from the end of September till Halloween.
Wow. And so then I know you said you go in the spring. Like, what does the rest of the year kind of look like for you when it's not fall colors?
It's, well, I love the greening up. I love the new buds on the trees. I love going out wintertime. I go out, I look for covered bridges. I look for lighthouses. I just started flying a drone, which is something interesting. And I flew it out to Nubble Lighthouse. I flew the other side of Nubble Lighthouse. In fact, I'm looking at a picture of it right here on my monitor. And let's see.
Yes, share it. You got to share it.
We'll try. Let me.
Nope.
The
Let me do
drone, learning
this.
to use the drone is a whole new thing, but it gives you such amazing views that we don't get to see.
I know
Let's see.
in Atlanta, they have a lot of cherry
Oh,
blossoms, and I
look
had a
at that.
tree.
Yeah, I'm trying to center it and look at it at the same time. But
Right.
yeah, that's the
Oh, wow.
Noble Lighthouse up there, and it's a very interesting, feeling to go and do this. It's a whole new texture to my
Right?
photography.
You're somewhere holding and navigating this drone,
Yes,
right? And it's up and over, and yeah, that's kind of
it's over the ocean. It's over the ocean. You look down, and I'm looking down at the water. I'm seeing the ocean. I'm seeing myself up, 100 feet in the air, and it's like, you know, I it's hard to put into words. I feel like I need to pull my feet up. I'm gonna get wet.
Oh, no.
It's just, oh yeah, it's like, I'm going to fall because I'm looking right down at this, and it's just so interesting that I can see
It's like
now.
parasailing.
Yeah, I'd be scared that the thing was gonna crash. My pretty new camera drone is gonna crash in the ocean.
Oh yeah, a lot of times I ended up in a tree already once. I had
Oh,
to spend 30 minutes throwing a big stick up into the tree and trying to bring it. It came down, landed, just boom on the ground, on the grass, and no problems. But it was like, wow,
uh-oh.
I don't want to lose it. It's $400 or $500. It's like, I don't want it. It's not a
Yeah.
toy. It's only so big, but it's like,
When I first moved
not a
to
toy.
North Carolina, I was staying in a subdivision, and I would walk my dogs at nighttime before I went to bed. And there was this drone that would come to the subdivision, and I'm going, what the hell is that? And it was like this little red light. And I was like, and it would just
with the noise, like, because you can hear it.
Yeah,
too.
you can hear it. I know. A lot of times I can hear it.
And I'm like, who is that? Like every single night, and they would just kind of go around in a circle, and then I was like, oh my god,
Somebody practicing, right? Because you got
Right.
to practice.
yeah, they were doing like neighborhood watch.
I guess, yeah. No.
I was like, oh my gosh, they're sitting there. Are they videotaping?
Yeah, what's going on?
That would be so weird. Like you're like, oh, nobody can see me in the window. Little drone.
All right, so Jeff,
Well-
what do people ask you the most? Like when they find out what you do and what you've been doing, what do they usually want to pick your brain about?
When's the best time to show up
Mm-hmm.
to get peak fall foliage? I want to be there on the 13th. Where should I be to get peak fall foliage? And it's very difficult to pigeonhole.
You should have like your
day.
little magic little crystal
Yeah.
foliage ball, like
The magic 8 ball.
The magic coffee cup. I prefer that.
On the 13th. Connecticut, right?
Right, yeah.
Vermont.
Yeah. I'm going to say be in New England. Be
Right,
in the
exactly.
moment. Be in the moment, because picking one single day, I mean, a weekend isn't too bad. We can usually get close. And, unless Mother Nature is having a serious joke on us, like she has done a couple of years, we can get pretty close and get some very good colors for people. Figuring out, April's been doing this for a number of years, like I have, and we've got a better than average clue as to where to go, which is why everybody comes to my blog. They read through my different articles. They research New Hampshire or Vermont. I've got just tons of information out there of my thoughts on
more the inns, or do you guys ever do like RV camping and like go through and do that?
Let me get my pictures here. I'll go find one. No, I haven't done an RV. My first year, 2004, we did RV camping up in Vermont and stuff. And that was very interesting. There's a fifth wheel. So I left the camper there at night and we took off driving and with my truck. And that was a great amount of fun. I wish I'd kind of kept the RV, but it was eating up the dollars.
I don't believe you that it was a great amount of fun. You only did it once. And you were like,
I had it for about 2 years. I had the RV for about 2 years.
It was like,
okay.
Wasn't a great amount of fun. It was interesting.
Well, it puts you out. You didn't have to, worry about getting a hotel reservation. I just had to get, reservations to park my RV someplace. And so that makes it very easy to do. If for those who are very experienced at it, they go and find a big parking lot. They don't even need a reservation. They just find a parking lot. They set up their generator, and most of the Walmarts out there used to allow it. I think they still do somewhat.
Yeah, the Cabela's, like the yep. Sam's Clubs and the Walmarts and the Cabela's. But there's even this one called, I think it's called Harvest Hosts. Where if how
do you know this?
You know what? Wealth of useless information, right? If you have it's a winery or microbreweries, you can park. You've got a self-contained.
That's why she knows.
There you go. Well, that's good information.
Why she knows.
Yeah, if it's self-contained, so there's no hookups or anything like that.
Yeah.
But you can park for free in their parking lot. And my husband was watching this couple, he watches them, these bloggers who travel, and they had bought a little
Sprinter van probably.
Yeah. And so they were doing some tours through Colorado, and we're talking about these Harvest Host places, and some are really fabulous, right? They've got great, great wineries and great wine, and like the hosts are super friendly because you go in, right? And because you're staying there for free, like you would go in and maybe make a purchase. And but then they showed one where they gave them like a sample that was like, in a little Dixie cup, and then like a little plastic plate with like some cheese nips on it. So, some are better than others, but I imagine there has to be these cider places or apple groves or something. I'm not a big camper. I'm not really your outdoor type. I don't know. I'm really more the indoor girl, but concept of it.
Right.
Concept of it.
It's good for everybody else. It's let everybody else do it.
Right.
I haven't done it in a long time. We've thought about doing the yurts up in Maine. Mm-hmm. There's a couple places, one's in New Hampshire, the Milan Fire Tower in the Milan State Park. They have yurts to rent, and you can go there. And then over in Maine, we had run into a gentleman. His name was Bob. I'm trying to remember his last name. Bob Crowley. And he was up in Rangeley. Him and his wife met Lisa and I, and we were standing there and making suggestions on where for them to go. And it turns out she goes, "Oh, you know who Bob is, right?" And I'm like, "No, I'm afraid I don't." He's Survivor. I'm like, Survivors, the TV show. He turns out he was the oldest winner of Survivor. And I was like, wow, I did get to meet somebody. And we did breakfast with them the next morning, and they told us again, their yurts, they have yurts out in Maine that they have a rental area. So it's like, we haven't done it yet, but we think about it.
Stay in one of those.
How about you, April? Do you camp or do you do the inns?
No, I do I do the inns. From time to time, I do an old school. I like the locally owned motels. There's a couple
old school. You stay in an.
Like an old school style of like you pull up. I love like the little old where, the motels that you used to see. As a kid, that's what we stayed at, where you can park right in front of the door and you don't have to go through a big lobby. And some of those are owned by these wonderful people who know the area. And that's where you're going to get some of your best information, especially if you're having to arrive out of state, and the color can change daily. One day there may not be much color there. The next morning, if there's a hard frost, the colors can just pop. So those are the gentlemen you want to be talking to at the front desk and ask,
I watched too many scary movies.
Oh, no.
I'm not scared of one of those things. That's where the serial killer's coming from.
Oh, no. No, but I don't know. I like a warm shower at the end of the day. I like hot coffee. I have my needs and...
Yeah, I'm a bathtub girl, and they don't do a lot of bathtubs in motels and RVs.
No.
Right?
No.
Yeah.
All right. So Jeff, exciting things that you've got coming up. How do you want people to play with you, connect with you? What do you want them to do?
Well, they should definitely visit jefffoliage.com. And check out my website. All the images that they see there, they can, of course, if they don't feel like they've got wall hangers of their own, they can always click on any of the pictures on my website and it'll take them to my gallery and they can purchase them there. I don't do tours like April, which is why I have her as an advertiser. I send people to her to do the touring. I've done one tour, I think, my whole career in the last 20 years, and it turned out very nicely. But I tend not to do that myself. I like talking to people on Facebook and through my blog, through the comments, and helping them, make the right decisions as far as where they need to go. But that's about what we got going on. So as long as they visit jefffoliage.com, I think they'll be in good shape.
All right. And follow him on social media. He posts some really great stuff. And if you're ever thinking about going to New England,
right,
April. All right. How do
I have to go up there, Angel? You and I doing a
there you go, a girls
on the Angel and Tina Morty show.
There you go. Yeah. My website is you can either get there by fallphototrips.com, or the longer version is yourphototravelguide.com. And just like Jeff said, I lead small tours, and I also help people that want someone else to not, if they don't want to spend hours reading all the information, there's tons of great travel guides. I can't even tell you, I don't have my bookcase set up. I've probably got, I don't know, 50, 75, maybe it's reaching 100, travel guides and magazines and all of that. So if you don't want to spend all that time, I will help you plan your own trip and telling you where to go, map it all out. If you want to call the bed and breakfast, but I have contacts at a lot of inns and bed and breakfast. Yes.
There you go.
And I'll do those calls. So, either join a tour or let me help you plan your own without doing all the research on your own if you choose not to.
Okay. You have two website URLs you gave. Give them both again.
Sure. fallphototrips.com and yourphototravelguide.com. They essentially point to the same place. So,
okay, but you've given both, and right?
Do you do any tours in Las Vegas yet?
Not in Las Vegas yet. I do go to other places. I've gone to the California coast. I do Savannah and Charleston, which are incredible places in springtime. And I've also
gone cherry blossom. My cherry blossom.
The plantations in the springtime, incredible. Incredible.
Very beautiful in the springtime in Savannah. Those cherry blossoms get me.
And the food is top notch. So I'm a foodie. I love good food. So I'll tell you where to go eat. Same with New England. I have my favorite spots to go eat and favorite places to sleep. And
I have a friend of mine in Vegas, and I was going to take my kids out there because they have never been there. And he was like, "Oh, take them here, take them here." He was telling me all these like hideaway, like speakeasies. Right. Like, what? How come I've never known this about Vegas? He's like, "Go here." And I was like, "Oh, I've been there." He goes, "Yeah, but did you go to the speakeasy in the back?" And I went, "What?"
What? Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh, no." He's like, "Okay, you like Mexican food? You need to go here, but then go to the speakeasy in the back." I was like,
right.
We did a fundraiser for our public library, which was so cute. They turned the whole Denver Public Library into this
speakeasy.
No, to every room and every section, right, has like different snacks and like a different.
Oh, cool! Like a theme.
Like a theme. Thank you. But there was a speakeasy like in one of them, and so you had to, buy a special coin in order to get into the speakeasy, and they were like serving drinks like the bee's knees and.
Right, like it was so cool. Like I was looking at the pictures he was sending me, and I was like, I wanted, like, wouldn't it be cool to live in that time period where you like have to go and back and have the person singing on stage? I'm like, oh, I want to do that.
Back in the day. Well, you guys have been fabulous to have as guests on our show today. Jeff, what else do we want to make sure that we get out, that we share, that maybe we might have missed?
Well, you can visit my Instagram. Basically, just Google anything Jeff Foliage and you're going to find me. Visit my Instagram, visit my Facebook pages, and definitely visit the website, jefffoliage.com.
Find you on social media for sure.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm all over it.
I looked up your name, right? And your Facebook group popped up instantly. And in April, you actually popped up that you were looking to interview people, like left brain interviews. Do you have a podcast?
I have a podcast that I'm doing with Cindy. It's called The Travel Collective, and we've put videos on YouTube. And we've been at it for the last year, and we interview travelers from all over the world. So we have contacts now in Scotland, a woman in France who has a place in Tuscany. So I want to connect with more travelers around the world and hook up with them if they're doing boutique things. So when people can travel, or maybe I'll take a small group of photographers over there at some point. So yeah. A lot of fun.
Yeah, it popped up. I was like, well, look at that. Look at that. I found her, right? I found her. So easy.
I just found Jeff on Instagram. So
yay. Oh, good.
And I was like, I'm thinking all orange, red, and yellow, and that's what it is. All orange, yellow.
Do you wear the colors too, Jeff? I know you're kind of wearing something kind of grayish today, but do you wear a lot of red and orange?
Well, let's put it this way. My standard colors for fall. Let's see. There we go. Is that a little better?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Now you're on.
This is my fall colors. Nice. I wear it all the time.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, thank you for coming on and sharing and just lighting us up. And fall will be here. Fall will be here before we know it.
It's
113 days.
It's June 2nd today, right? Like I can't wait. Is it June 2nd?
Yeah,
100. Yep.
I couldn't believe. I'm like, what?
I know it is crazy where did this year go?
The big thing is everybody needs to really get out there and enjoy the summer. Everybody complains, oh, it's not even summer yet, and you're talking fall. Please get out there and enjoy the heck out of your summer. Get out as much as you can, as much as you can be safely. Get out there and enjoy it, because fall's not going to stop. It's coming. 113 days away. Get it in, especially in the short New England summers.
Love it. I love it. Well, April, Jeff, thank you for being our guest today. What a fun show, right? Thinking ahead, and right, summer is upon us, right? We just had Memorial Day, kicked off summer, graduations.
Break out the white pants.
Yeah, there you go. Get your chance to wear your white pants and your tank tops.
I'm a fashionista, but I don't obey the rules. I wear it all the time.
You wear white all the time. Well, now it's fashionable, acceptable to wear white pants, white shoes, right? Yes. From Memorial Day to Labor Day. Well, I'm Angel Tussey. I am your media exposure specialist. If you're looking for more visibility for your business, your book, or your brand, I have a free guide that you can download at my website, makeyourbigimpact.com. That's makeyourbigimpact.com. We just wrapped up our second Media Mastery Bootcamp of the year. Super exciting to have that kind of underway and gearing up for the summer. If you don't have our Connect Virtual Summit on your calendar, it is the last Wednesday in June. So what is that? June 30th. From 2 to 7 p.m. And you can register for your free ticket to the Connect Virtual Summit at connectvirtualsummit.com. And this month, we're talking all about health and wellness, right? Mindset, taking care of your body, taking care of the machine. And we have an incredible group of speakers that are geared up to come and serve you at the Connect Virtual Summit. That is June 30th. Today, I'm speaking on the resilient entrepreneur, right? How to have a business and a life. I might share some of the tips I learned from April and Jeff today. Fun. But grab your guide at makeyourbigimpact.com.
And I'm Tina Torres. Angel, did you see my magazine article just dropped this morning? She was like, it's coming out in June. So she sent it to me. I'm like, it's not even June. It is June. I'm like, oh, it goes by so like this. I did this like in January, and everything is just going by so fast. But if you're struggling with, attracting the right clients or bringing those clients in, keeping them for a lifetime, I have a 5-day free masterclass, Mastering Your Follow-Up. If you go to masteringyourfollowup.com, you can get access to that 5-day free masterclass. It's 5 videos, worksheets, and a workbook, all for you to learn how to build those relationships online and offline. You can go to masteringyourfollowup.com and go to my Facebook page. You can grab that article and listen. read the article. Boy. Read the article. We are Angel and Tina on the Angel and Tina Morning Show. We come to you live every weekday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern. We hope you have a fabulous day and go enjoy your summer. Bye, guys.